Someone has been detained. Get this situated, and then we're gonna pull up the map. Reports are claiming Cash Patel is now stating multiple people. All right, let me see. So Rio Rico, again, just north of the Mexican border. That's where the traffic stop allegedly happened, where they have that person in custody and are questioning them. Uh, Pure speculation at this point of why they were at that location, but obviously one would think possibly trying to get across the border to run. Um, so I think that's probably a decent possibility. The photos hit today, and as we said, whoever is involved is going to be, they're not going to be able to sit still because they're going to be a nervous wreck now seeing that. And I'm guessing at least one of them was trying to get out of the country. Again, that's pure speculation right now. Hopefully we'll know more in a little bit. But right there, Rio Rico, just south of Tucson, just north of the Mexican border, just north of Nogales. Okay, so I've got someone on YouTube chat saying that the life flight does uh, that there was a life flight that went from Rico, or what's the name of it? Rio Rico to Banner Hospital in Tucson that and was carrying an 84-year-old woman. Now again, that's all we know right now. I was suffering through the interview room. They were so wrong and couldn't see these things. Is that the interview room? Is that is that like a channel, a YouTube channel or something? Oh, and I'm sorry, Miss Cato. So to answer your question, I don't know for sure, but I do know. Hold on, let me get this troll out of my Facebook. That young people. We're trying to make things happen here. All right. But as I said, as far as the life flight and the hospital, all that I know at this point is, man, I just X'd out of the wrong thing. That a lot of the media was advised to go to the hospital. Now, maybe they just heard this was an 84-year-old woman on this flight and they're just speculating as well. Okay, so now it's getting reported that there is no police presence at the hospital. So that's pretty telling that there may not be anything to the hospital thing right now. So that may have been what happened. Maybe they were just speculating as well on that as far as the hospital. But we do know at least one person has been detained and being questioned, and possibly more. So let's see. How a psychic can be done with it? Why didn't you get a psychic and tell us where everybody is? Oh yeah, I know the hospital's not going to tell them whether a certain patient is there or not, especially in a like in a high profile case like that. Um, but with them stating there's no police presence, I don't think there's anything to it. Because if if anyone related to this case was there, uh, there would be a major police presence at the hospital, whether it be Nancy there or a suspect. Uh, Whoever's saying the person being detained is one of Tom's band members. Do you know that for fact, or are you just seeing that other places? Who wears a holster like that? Someone that has no experience at carrying a firearm. Uh, for sure. Yeah, and I don't mind you speculating, but just say that because I don't want to. I don't want to be spreading a lot of noise. Miss Cato, where did you see that reported? As the host of the one that goes in the boot? To me, and I'm not 100% sure, but to me, it looked like just a very cheap, like Uncle Mike's type poster. Uh, I can't be sure because it's with the infrared and stuff, but it just looked like a really cheap poster. I'll be honest, if I didn't have such an important week here, and with all this going down, I would be in Arizona right now for sure. So they do. It is confirmed that they do have a search warrant somewhere in Rio Rico. He was matched through the pictures and reported by a source to one of these YouTubers. Yeah, that don't sound too reliable as of now. I'm not saying it's not correct. I want to hear it from uh, a reliable source before spreading it. Apparently, the media was just turned away from the hospital, and they also said there was no police presence at the hospital. So I'm guessing they were speculating as well as far as the life flight and the 84-year-old woman. But then they got there, and what I'm going off there is the no police presence. If there's no police presence there, then I highly doubt anyone at that hospital that has to do with this case. No, I don't think nothing official has come out on who has been detained, Tawana, so far. There's a lot of speculation, but nothing absolutely confirmed. Heard an electrician's home was searched today. I keep getting the same spam over here. My Facebook never gets eat up with spam comments like that. It's the second one. Those of you on Facebook, do not click on any links that people put in the comments. I'm trying to keep them deleted and blocked. As far as I know, there's still not a way to have a moderator on Facebook team, which is crazy to me, but and hey, thank you for all the new followers. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, the traffic stop in Rio Rico. I mean, like I've got the little bulletin here that this was put out by the sheriff's office, so that's definitely confirmed. I haven't seen anyone said that she's passed. Well, yeah, that's him fleeing to the border. I mean, that definitely would be my first initial conclusion of that. Now, that may not be the case, but obviously just me speculating. But with the video being released today, the still pics, and then them making a traffic stop there that close to the border and taking that person into custody for questioning, that makes me think, yeah, that is the case. And that's what I said earlier. I said anyone around that area at all. Because if anyone is around any of the suspects or the suspect, however many there are, when that video was released today, it's going to be very noticeable how they're acting. They're going to be, they're not going to be able to sit still. They're going to be so nervous. It will be very obvious that something's going on with them. I mean, Tucson's just north of the border. I don't know the exact miles, but it's not too far. Yeah, right here's the map again. So you see Tucson right up there, and then the border right just above Nogales, because Nogales is in Mexico. So I mean, you're not talking about too far. And Rio Rico, where the traffic stop was conducted and the person taken in for questioning, is just north of the border right there. All the media headed to the hospital. Apparently, they were advised to go to the hospital, but then when they got there, they said they observed no police presence, and the people at the hospital said that the person there was not related to this case. So I think they heard a 94-year-old woman was being life flighted, and they speculated. And considering there's no police presence there, then I would highly doubt that anyone is at the hospital in relation to this. No, I'm telling y'all, this had nothing to do with cartel. This was extremely amateur. I mean, not professional in any way whatsoever. Nothing about this is professional. So it's being reported that they are currently executing the search warrant at a location in Rio Rico, but that location obviously is not being released for obvious reasons. The video that was released today was from is a Nest camera. So it was a doorbell camera, but it was Nest instead of Ring. But yeah, same thing. Yes, the suspect appears male to me. I would almost bet it's a male with the gait, the way they're walking, just the way they were carrying themselves. I would about bet everything is a male. I don't think it's a female. Yeah, as far as information officially released so far, we're still at they do have a person detained and questioning them. And then we know that they are currently executing a search warrant in the Rio Rico area. What are you talking about, Sugar? Yeah, no, I think it was definitely an 84-year-old female being transported to the hospital. It just wasn't her. If the if the ransom letter was sent by whoever is responsible for her disappearing, I think it was just to try to throw them off the scent. I don't think that was ever sent to for them to actually, with them actually expecting to receive it, because nothing about it made any sense whatsoever. Well, they didn't just so happen to find somebody at a traffic stop. I'm sure the video and pictures they released today has something to do with that. That's what kicked off all this today. There's is at least 2 days between when she went missing and the ransom note. Her pacemaker didn't stop. It just disconnected from her Bluetooth phone from the internet. But that doesn't make the pacemaker stop. It just means it's not recording the information anymore. Well, Kristen, if they had a suspect, and in this case, it would be extremely simple for them to get an emergency phone ping order, which means you don't have to have a search warrant or anything. And so if they have a prime suspect and the suspect's phone number, all they got to figure out is the carrier, and then make a couple calls, and they'll ping their phone right where they are. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying it's a good possibility. And I'm telling y'all, I wasn't even going to go back live again tonight because I was live like well over 2 hours just earlier. But I was watching some of these people that are live talking about this. Oh my God. I don't know how some of these people make it through the day. I don't know how they know how to walk to their refrigerator and back. And they're acting like they know what they're talking about. And they're saying some of the dumbest things you could come up with. I just don't understand it. Well, thank you, Cass. I really appreciate that. I mean, it's possible that it was the son-in-law and daughter, but I mean, right now we're being told that none of the family is suspects. Yes, the TikTok investigators and lawyers. I'm telling you, it's scary. Like, I'm telling y'all, please don't ever take any legal advice from any of these people. In such a high profile case, why did it take Google so long with the film from the doorbell camera? Y'all just, you have to understand this is way more complicated than you think. Uh, First off, you're not just picking up the phone and calling Google. Uh, there's nobody to call. Second off, you have to have, in that situation, you probably have to have a search warrant that has to go through things. Then this is probably something that Google, Nest, whoever runs that company, doesn't normally do. They may not even known, again, this is speculation, they may not even known if they could do it or not until this came up. So it is not surprising to me that it took this long to get that video, considering there was no subscription, and I would bet if any other agency was trying to get that information, that it would have never happened. But since it was the FBI with this very high profile case, again, they probably figured out. For all we know, they may have worked with some of the FBI IT people and figured it out. Again, you learn a lot when you're working cases like this. You always learn new capabilities that you didn't realize were possible. And so a lot of this, some of this, anyway, I'm not going to say a lot, some of this, they're probably learning as they go, because this is a very, very abnormal case. Not common at all. But yeah, if you're talking about any of the phone carriers, yes, they have law enforcement liaison departments, and in an emergency situation, such as an abducted person, you can make a quick phone call, and it doesn't take, I mean, within 10 minutes, sometimes even 5 minutes, they'll be sending that phone's location, exact location to your phone, to the investigator's phone. And again, I'm not saying that's what happened. It's speculation. I'm just saying that it's possible with this person that they stopped on the traffic stop. I would highly doubt this was a random traffic stop that turned into this. More than likely, it was what we call a whisper stop, which means it's set up like a normal regular traffic stop, and so the person doesn't realize that the entire FBI is looking at them, but they just get uh, a normal patrol deputy and say, hey, this is the car, it's heading this direction. Make a random traffic stop on them, get up there, and once you get them and get them out of the car, we'll come in and take over. Again, that's speculation on my part as far as if that happened in this case, but that's what happens a lot. But this is where all the noise really just, it's frustrating. If everyone would just be way more careful in reposting and just way more careful in repeating just anything you saw, it would cut down on a lot of this noise. And in a lot of investigations, all this noise does actually hinder the investigation in certain ways. But man, good God, the people, they'll see one person post something and I don't know why, but they just think, well, it's definitely got to be true because it's on the internet. The funny saying, I think some people still live by that. And that's very far from the truth. So Brian Eaton is reporting the suspect was a DoorDash driver. Let me see. Man, my team is awesome. I was literally about to ask y'all for that, and I didn't even have to ask. And just boom, there it is. Yeah, okay. So that's a pretty reliable source, Brian Hinton, and he is stating that he spoke with the family of the person that's been detained, and they were delivering DoorDash when they were pulled over. So maybe maybe they weren't headed for the border; they just live in that area, like somebody else suggested a while ago. So. The guy's mother-in-law said she can't go back home, and they took all electronics. So yeah, okay. So I mean, it sounds like they think this guy was directly involved. Now it doesn't mean he was. It sounds like they definitely believe he was at this point. The psychics told them that. So why did the psychics wait till they released the video today? Some of y'all killing me. Well, they can't ping your pacemaker. If they could, they would have already. I'm guessing the pacemaker doesn't have an onboard GPS. No, Brian posted that on X. He posted a video on X explaining that 22 minutes ago. Yeah, no, an elderly female, 84-year-old female was flown to that hospital, but it's been reported it's not her. Um, a bunch of the news media went there and then left, and they also stated there was no police presence at the hospital. So that's what I'm going off of. It was definitely probably not her. Can't say that. Definitely probably not. It was probably not her, considering there's no police presence there. Well, yeah, and I'm not being a smartass or anything, but trust me, if they could track the pacemaker, they already would have. Like, you have to understand, every single resource that is available to the United States was made available in this case. Everything. They have more FBI agents deployed to that area than any other case, probably in the last 20 years, if not ever. Seriously. So, I mean, there's a lot of very bright minds, investigative minds on this. It could have been a nosebleed. Yeah, it definitely could have been. Oh, so it was an 84-year-old car crash victim. Okay. Yeah, because, and again, I'm not trying to be a smartass, but there's a lot more than one 84-year-old woman, in that area. It's like a million people population. So, yeah, I would, Abby, I believe that the video had something to do with them taking this guy into custody. I'm an expert on nothing. I know a lot about nothing. That's most of us. They've got more than that. They're executing a search warrant on the guy's house right now. So they've got more than someone that he delivered DoorDash to today said that they thought it was him. Uh, they're not getting a search warrant just off of that. I believe they have somebody under arrest now. I mean, it may not technically be under arrest, but a lot of resources going into this guy right now. So, I mean, we'll see. Could turn out to be nothing, but I highly doubt that at this point. And I'm trying to keep up with as many comments as I can. Just be aware, I'm on 3 separate platforms right now live. So I'm on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So I can't catch all the comments, but I try my best. But I've got moderators on YouTube and TikTok, so they try to catch good questions and pin them for me. I really appreciate that, Abby. Thank you. Yeah, if you're new, um, please follow, subscribe, follow. And my normal lives are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then you can find my full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Rumble. How do we prevent someone from removing a Ring camera? I mean, that's a good question. I don't trust those cameras anymore. I like I used to have the. Well, I have a Ring camera, a doorbell camera, but we don't subscribe to it or anything. We can just see that if somebody rings doorbell. But I've got tons of actual cameras around my entire house. And the hardwired cameras that save to a hard drive that's in a fireproof place. All the cloud ones, the Nest, Simply Safe, and all that stuff, they're too easy to hack into. So I just don't like them that much. Now, if they're all pointed away from your house, then you may not care if somebody could hack into them. But don't have them inside your house. But the hardwired full security systems, very hard to hack into, if even possible. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they may be. I'm sure it may be possible, but it's much more complicated. And my cameras, I mean, you'd have to have a ladder to get to them. So I would advise people to have cameras, where somebody just can't reach up. And like I said, they save to a hard drive. That way they can tear the camera down, whatever, and everything up until that point is still going to be saved. And this was one of my things I say all the time about the turn your infrared off on your cameras at night. Turn that off. Keep the daytime lens running, and just have lights pointed where your cameras are. It makes a huge difference. And then this comes out today, and this is a prime example. It's infrared night vision is just so much harder to tell who people are and details and things like that, versus like you can look at, if you looked at my cameras right now on outside of my house with all the lights, clear as day. No, we do not think Nancy is at the hospital. I appreciate you coming back, Eric. Lag time on my YouTube is maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. Nah, it's about a minute. I just watched. It's no longer than a minute. I think each one. I mean, old school floodlights. I don't like the motion sensors. I stay on. Like I was saying last night, like my neighbors all joke about my house. Like you could land a plane uh, here, and that the International Space Station probably waves at us when you probably see all the lights from my house when they fly above. And I mean, nobody's going to be sneaking around my house in the dark. They're not going to feel comfortable doing that because there's nowhere around my house that's dark at all. I mean, it's literally like daylight. So he is a DoorDash driver and Uber. So it is a possibility that he is again, this is speculation. But it is a possibility that he is the Uber driver that took her to her daughter's house that night. We'll probably find out. It's still hard for me to believe that's all it was, just considering how calm this guy was around that front door. I'm telling you, these freaking experts, so-called experts that Fox News and CNN have up, not all of them, but right now, it's Ted Williams, former DC police detective. I don't know what. They just asked him, was this a professional, well planned out job or an amateur? He said, somewhere in between. No, it's not somewhere in between, dude. Like, where do you get somewhere in between? Nothing, there's nothing professional about this. Like, that's laughable for anybody to say that. And that's their expert they have up top. Like, I don't understand it. These people. I can't even listen to that guy anymore. Be careful who you listen to. I don't know where they get these people. Newsmax said it was a professional. I get. Listen to me. There is nothing professional about that guy that's at that door that we saw on camera. Nothing. If that is who is also responsible for the ransom email letter, that didn't make sense either. Nothing about this screams professional. Every single thing so far screams extremely amateur, possible first time doing anything like this, more than likely. Lights do not help thieves more than they scare them. Uh, that doesn't make sense, just to be honest with you. I mean, I've been in the minds of a lot of these people that burglarize homes and that break in. I mean, I've interviewed tons, and I mean, more than I could ever count. I ask them simple. I mean, I ask questions because number one, I'm curious and I like to learn from them. And if you ask anyone that's going to break into a house or do something at a house and say, all right, you have this house and it's very well lit up, and you have this one that's very dark around, which one are you going to go to? The dark one. Nothing about a dark place would scare. I mean, again, that doesn't make any sense. I love your voice. It put me to sleep. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think I'm supposed to be putting you to sleep. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not. Do I think it's only one involved or multiple people? I mean, I want to say at least two, just because it's hard for me to believe that anyone would take on something like this by themselves. But I could be wrong considering how amateur this person is. But I still think there was more than one. More than likely, while this guy was at the front door doing whatever he was doing and removing the camera, somebody was at the back door. I mean, and again, obviously it's speculation, but it's hard for me to believe that just one person went in and was able to pull it off enough to even get her out of the house. So I think there's more than one. Peaceful Sharon. Do you mind me asking where you got the name from? I'm just curious. Oh, so his mother during the interview said that? Okay. I'd call that pretty reliable. Monica, that's a good question. I don't know for sure because I've not heard the uh, no family members are involved from like a specific person, but I have heard a bunch of people that I respect and trust report that. So I don't know where they heard that from, but um, so it maybe they said that, or maybe they said the suspect that's in custody is not a family member. I'm not sure. Well, Stephen, that's the trick. Yes, they're not going to be honest with you. You have to get the truth out of them, and that's my favorite thing ever to do. If I could sit down and interrogate people all day just to get the truth out of them, that'd be my dream job of all time. I'm gonna click on. Let's see. I mean, do I not? Apparently, I don't have CNN. Oh, there it is. If I had CNN on here. You would be surprised of most people don't ask for an attorney. A lot of people. I mean, if you really know what you're doing, they don't fully realize that they're answering questions until they're already answering them. His mom says he wasn't involved. Well, I'm sure she's going to say that. Said he doesn't own clothes in the video. So did she ever actually say he didn't do this? Or did she just never answer the question? You don't want a confession. You want the truth. And there's a difference. Because a confession is not always the truth. Yeah, in my classes when I'm teaching, you're not allowed to say the word confession. We don't want a confession. We just want the truth. I believe they're executing the search warrant right now. So who's interviewing the mom? Because I thought somebody said CNN, but I've got it on and they're not interviewing anyone. Where are y'all seeing the interview with the mom? Yeah, I already saw the last Discord team. If that's what y'all want me to look at. I'm sorry, his mother. Yeah, no, you're correct. I was saying that wrong. It's his mother-in-law, not his mother. Yeah, that is what they were saying. I just misspoke. Abby, are you saying you're retired NYPD? Myra, is speculation on my part right now as far as how did the traffic stop happen. So this is speculation, but I would guess. I mean, there's a possibility, good possibility that it they they were looking for him, um, and got a location on him somehow. But yeah, I don't think it was a random traffic stop, and then it turned into him being interviewed for this. I think it had something to do with the stuff the video put out today. Abby, I would love for you to be a guest on my podcast. Yeah, I mean, it very well could turn out um, that he doesn't have anything to do with it, but obviously they believe he has something to do with it at this point. And again, that they obtained a search warrant, so they have to have something. I mean, they had to have probable cause for that. Now, if it was just a state search warrant, may not have to have a lot, but they'd have something. Where am I hearing traffic stop? Everywhere. CNN, Fox News, and then I've got the thing pulled up right here on my screen. This was put out by the Pima County Sheriff's Office just a little bit earlier, just a little bit ago. Deputies detained a subject during a traffic stop south of Tucson. The subject is currently being questioned in connection to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. I understand, Abby. If you ever change your mind, please let us know. Yeah, it's the traffic stop definitely happened, and it sounds like he was definitely he was a DoorDash driver and Uber driver. She said he's innocent, so it must be innocent. Well, of course. My experience, parents are one way or the other. There's rarely any in the middle. They are either, no matter what, they're not going to believe their kid did whatever, or they are 1,000% on your side and hey, do whatever you got to with them. I've rarely seen parents in the middle somewhere. I don't know. I mean, she probably didn't ask for a search warrant. They probably didn't ask her. They probably obtained the search warrant and then showed up. Yeah, and I get it. Somebody said it would be hard to imagine your child doing this. Yeah, and I mean, I get it. A lot of time, I mean, I always try to put myself in the other person's. shoes and be empathetic with them. So I mean, I understand it at times, but I mean, some you can show them all the evidence in the world, and they're not going to believe it. Because on the other side of that, every single criminal that's ever lived was somebody's child. Every serial person was somebody's child. Well, and I don't know where you got the information from, but if you are correct, Shell says the sheriff did not have the warrant, the FBI had one. If this was a federal warrant, then there's a lot to this because it is not easy to get a federal search warrant. I don't think the life flight was hurt because, again, there's no police presence at the hospital. But yeah, I mean, I hope it turns out to be her. I don't think that's the case considering there's no police presence. But I mean, I wish it was. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, some of y'all are. I'm seeing so many different things. I don't know if some of you are just trolling or what. But now somebody's saying the guy was also her gardener. So I don't know. I mean, this whole case at this point is federal, uh, from what I understand. I think it's been turned over by the FBI, but um, it doesn't take much for them to be able to turn it into a federal investigation. It just has to be some type of nexus with interstate commerce or anything like that. It's pretty simple. Not just that. There's a lot of other reasons, but just because the FBI is there and leading this whole investigation does not mean the search warrant they are executing right now is a federal search warrant because they could have sheriff's office investigators with them and they obtained a state search warrant. It could be a federal search warrant. Again, I don't know yet. But if it is a federal search warrant, then that is, again, federal search warrants require, as much sense as this makes, a lot more probable cause than a state search warrant in most states, anyway. I mean, I can't speak for Arizona. It may be hard to get a state search warrant there. Never gotten one there, but uh, most state search warrants just requires basic probable cause. Federal search warrants, you gotta have a lot. They don't just hand those out. And you're right. This could be the ransom guy. I mean, you're absolutely. Again, we don't know yet. I mean, or I don't know yet. I mean, he may be a private chef too, because I'm. Some people were saying he's. I think they're talking about different people, but I think some people were confused and saying he's electrician, a gardener, DoorDash driver, Uber driver. This guy has a lot of jobs, I'll tell you that. And it's also possible that the mother-in-law has absolutely no idea that they're involved, but they are. I mean, it's definitely possible. Why didn't the family have the app on their phones in case something? I mean, that's hindsight 20. I'm sure they all wish they would have now. For sure. It's just. I mean, I can understand. They all have their lives too, and they may not have realized that she was no longer subscribed to the Nest system or something. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I mean, there's a really good chance the guy they have is connected to the case and involved, but not the one we saw on the camera. Could be somebody that's involved that wasn't even at the scene that house that the house that night. I mean, we don't know yet. From what I understand, she's lived at that house for a very long time. Well, that's another thing. It depends on the laws, uh, such as I hate to say this, but if it turns into be, I don't know does Arizona have the death penalty? Somebody tell me. I don't know, but let's say let's say they do, and this turns into a death penalty case, then they would charge him through the state and run it that way, if that makes sense. So Arizona does have it. Okay. So yeah, if that's the case, and again, I hope this does not turn into a death penalty case because that would mean, you know, but if it did, then they would more likely run all the charges through the state. I'm not seeing any other reports that this person that they have in custody right now has anything to do with the band or anything. He may, but I'm not seeing anybody say anything like that. I agree with you, Abby. On I think, and obviously I hope I'm wrong, but I think she probably lost her life that night. Haley, you can't jump in here and say that. So what's going on? Just Joy, a lot. There's a lot going on. Yes, the FBI can assist with the state search warrant, assist the sheriff's office, and vice versa. And most of the time there are. I mean, Uh, More than likely, an agency this size has people on FBI task forces. So they already have deputies that are also sworn federal agents for their task forces, and so they work together all the time too. And they will at, at times they'll pull in investigators from other units and things like that to help on certain things. And absolutely, Abby, it doesn't matter where you live. Be prepared to protect yourself and your home. And y'all know I preach that all the time. Very big on preparedness and protecting yourself and all that stuff. And I'll be doing a lot more of those videos too when we're about to put our Patreon account out and have it get it up and running and the paid subscription on there. I'll be putting all those videos again like I used to have on TikTok under the paid subscription. I know a lot of people like that, and I like to make those videos too. But don't count on anyone to come in to save you, no matter where you live. You better know how to take care of yourself, protect yourself and your family at your home. If you're physically able to, anyway. I understand everybody's not, but if you're physically able to, take it serious. Varying one's routine is a good idea. Don't be predictable. Yeah, I'm way over the top on all that stuff. Way over the top. But I did. I mean, I worked narcotics for a long time, and I had to be extremely careful about. I mean, you know, driving the same route and things like that, especially when I would be leaving operations and work and stuff and going to my house and then back and forth. Always very careful of counter surveillance and things like that, making sure not being followed. And that just all, I mean, almost 10 years of that just is stuck with me. And I mean, I still paranoid about it. I haven't seen that the ransom was paid. I would highly doubt the ransom was paid. But be observant wherever you are. Stop walking through the parking lot looking down at your cell phones. Stop when you're sitting at red lights looking at your cell phones. Be observant. That makes you a harder target. Just that. Just being observant and people realizing that you're being observant makes you a harder target instead of a soft target. It can make a difference. Just that one little change. But the way you carry yourself, the way you walk makes a big difference. Uh, these people are going to pick the softer target every time. Yeah, I saw. I've heard that the $300 was done. but that's it. Yeah, keep a low profile. Don't stand out. Blend in. It's the best way to be. That's what I was saying. Like I was saying the other night about like undercover work and stuff. It's not about it's not about hiding. It's just about. I mean, you have to be good at blending in. You're not hiding. You're hiding in plain sight, as they say. But blending in, not standing out. Don't have an easy recognizable vehicle like with stickers and things on it. Blend in. I think I know what you're talking about, Morgan, with that the study, the research that they did on asking the criminals who they would target. There was also, oh my god, I hadn't taught this class in so long, I can't even remember all the details. Somebody will probably remember what I'm talking about. There was a there was a guy that he he shot a police officer in Arkansas or some state. I can't remember what state. He shot a police officer and killed him. Then after that, he was pulled over by a state trooper in another state. I can't remember all these details, but he was pulled over by a state trooper in another state. And trooper obviously didn't know that he what he had just done or anything. Ran him, no problem. Let him go. Then he got pulled over again. I can't remember if it was the same state or another one. And he shot that police officer. And anyway, when they caught him, they asked him, like at some point they asked him, like, why didn't you try to kill that one, the trooper that pulled you over? And he said, I looked at him and I knew I wasn't gonna mess with that guy. He said he was too sharp. He looked too sharp. He said his clothes were pressed. I mean, the way he was walking. He said I wasn't taking a chance on messing with him. So, like that's something I teach to, especially young police officers. The way you carry yourself, how professional you look can make. I mean, it can make a huge difference. Makes a huge difference, and that's why one of my biggest pet peeves are fat police officers. I can't stand it. If you're a fat police officer and I see you out in public, I'm very professional about it. Keep in mind, I'm very professional, but I will say something to you 100% of the time. My wife hates it. I've been like that for years when I was in law enforcement, and I still do because I can't stand it. I don't understand it. It blows my mind. But if you're extremely overweight and I see you in a uniform, I'm going to walk up and bring it up. And again, I'm professional about it, and I'm respectful as I can about it. But I'll say, I mean, like you need to either get in the gym and fix this, or you need to go turn your badge in because other people are depending on you. Your family's depending on you to come back home, and this is ridiculous. It's not a profession you can be in and not be in great shape. And if you get to a age or a point in your life where you just don't want to stay in good shape and you're still in that business, you'd need to give up your badge. I have no respect for you if you don't. Uh, I won't feel sorry for you. It's not a job that you can be in and not be in top shape. It drives me insane. My law enforcement career, 17 years. I did close to 10 in narcotics, and I did almost 2 in highway drug interdiction, and then a little over 8 in narcotics, and then 2 years in working missing persons, and then I got promoted. And I also did. In that same time, I did 5 years on SWAT. And well, when I got out of law enforcement, I was on SWAT, still on SWAT. Um, Once I got promoted, I worked as a accreditation manager for a year, a little over a year, and then I headed training and was over training. And for the last 10 years, I've been teaching interview interrogation and body language. I used to teach some other things, but that's pretty much all I teach now. And I have full transparency. I haven't taught that in 6 months because I've been doing this. It's been taking up all my time. But I've traveled around and taught that for a long time. Oh, thank you, Shell. Okay, I'll check that out. Yeah, but I got out of law enforcement in 2023, and I worked as a private consultant until this just literally happened. I still don't know how. I still have no idea how this happened, and that this is what I'm doing. Um, I have no idea. It just kind of, I don't know. Seemed like one day I woke up and here we are. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. This So they're saying this guy that's in custody is a 56-year-old guy? That doesn't sound right. Yeah, this that somebody sent me said 56. CNN finally has a expert that understands knows what he's talking about. Thank goodness. After hearing that last guy on Fox a while ago, I was concerned. Yeah, this guy gets, I don't know who he is, but he's a retired ASAC, FBI. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. I don't normally watch CNN. I don't normally watch any mainstream media. I don't normally watch Fox News or CNN, either one. But I turned it on CNN a while ago because somebody said that's who was interviewing the mother-in-law. But I never saw that on there, so I guess I missed it, and I just hadn't turned it off yet. But no, I don't watch mainstream media. I don't trust anything hardly any of them say. But no, I mean yeah, exactly, Eric. Uh, no, I don't trust the mainstream media. Are you talking to me, Tawana? Oh, 100% agree with you, Abby. Especially the DVs. What do I feel about open carry? I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart at all. Um, I mean, I'm for people carrying. You'll never catch me not carrying, but you're not going to know I'm carrying. I just don't think it's smart to open carry. It's never made sense to me. I don't understand it. Uh, but no, I wouldn't suggest anyone open carry. Again, it's not it's not smart. It goes back to what Eric and I were saying, or what Eric was saying, the blend in. And if you're open carrying, you're not blending in. You're sticking out. Yeah, I agree with Eric. It makes you a target. It's just I've never, and I've asked a bunch of people. I've never heard a good logic reason why you should open carry. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And like, if I'm around you, and there's a lot of me, there's a lot of me out there, and you're open carrying, and I want to take that from you. I mean, unless you're highly trained, which if you're open carrying, you're probably not. I'm going to be able to take that from you if I want to. I mean, 100%. It's something I've practiced and trained a lot, and it's just, it's not smart. And again, there's a lot of me out there. Go back to Epstein. I haven't talked about Epstein. I go after corrupt officials, corrupt cops, judges, prosecutors, anybody corrupt, and I have a passion for working missing persons, and I speak up for missing persons' families and try to help with cold cases and things like that. Those are the two main things I cover. That's why I'm covering this with the missing person. Um, I don't talk about politics a lot. I've read some of the Epstein files. Everything I've seen everything I'm not saying they all are. I'm saying everything that I've seen so far is literally anonymous tips, and people don't understand that. They think just because this came from the FBI that it's got truth to it. And every single thing I've read so far, if you actually look into it, it's like I read one on live the other night. It was like my brother's sister's cousin told me this 35 years ago. Literally, that's what it said. I mean, my neighbor's cousin told me this 35 years ago, and they called in this tip in 2020. And people see that, and they're, oh my God, look at this! Look how crazy it is. It's that's dumb. Yeah, I live in Alabama. I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I don't think the person in the video is a female. I think it's a male. I don't think the FBI had a duty to investigate those tips. No law enforcement agency is going to investigate something that someone calls in and says, my neighbor's cousin told me this 35 years ago. No, there's no, you don't have the manpower to investigate things like that. It's crazy. So no, they didn't have a duty to investigate those things. Now, some of the, again, I'm not saying this about all the files put out. Obviously, I've not seen a lot of them. I'm just the ones I have seen. I've never taught Specifically defensive tactics? No. I've taught some tactical classes like SWAT classes and stuff, but I've never taught like the basic defensive tactics as far as taught it. I mean, I've been through the classes and practiced and, some of the stuff myself, but what's up, Demopolis? Yeah, you're close to me. And yes, Roll Tide. Yes, I graduated from University of Alabama. Proud of that. It's been a long time ago now. Coming up on 20 years. Jesus, that makes me feel old. I teach interview interrogation and body language analysis. I'm not like the number one expert in just like body language. I do teach some body language things as part of my interview and interrogation classes. They've been searching the car. They're still searching. How long have they been searching the car? Do I know Joe Navarro? I know of him. I don't know him personally, no. But I know who you're talking about. I've seen him on TV. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody really knows if the door camera guys who they have in custody. Started around 9. It's been 4. My God, what time is it? Oh my goodness. I did not realize what time. I did not realize how late it was. I'm gonna have to go very soon. I have a busy day tomorrow. And if you're new, please follow. Hit the follow button. Subscribe. Um, just subscribe if you're on YouTube. My 11-year-old gets mad if I call YouTube followers. He's very make sure I understand this. It's called subscribers there. But yeah, please subscribe, follow. And my normal times I go live. My normal live times are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then you can find my full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Rumble. And you can find me on everything. It's Agent D Baker, except Facebook is my full name, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, Baker. And I appreciate everyone being on here and watching. And I appreciate my team. I couldn't do any of this without them. They're amazing, for sure. I hope they know how much I appreciate them. And they've put in some hours this week. This last 7 days, they've put in some hours and some late ones. And I really appreciate that. But, yeah, I'm going to have to run. I need to get some sleep. But I hope everyone has a good rest of your whatever night this is, Tuesday night, and hopefully we have some news in the morning. I'm getting pretty optimistic that hopefully we're about to start learning some things, and hopefully whatever they're dealing with tonight turns into something. We get it all figured out tomorrow. Again, still hoping and praying that they do find her alive. I don't have much confidence in that happening at this point, but I hope I'm wrong. And remember, it's easy when we're just looking at this like this, and it's easy for us to forget this is a real person with real family. It's not a movie. This is real life. So remember that when you're, commenting on people's posts and things like that. This is a real person that is missing, that's been abducted, taken, and real family that's going through the hardest thing, most difficult thing in their life that most of us could not even imagine. Just always remember that. Again, it's just really easy to lose touch with that when we're watching it like it's, kind of like this movie, but it's not. So just be mindful of that. Welcome back to Truth or Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, a retired narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran of OEF and OIF. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I have seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online. These conversations can get raw, they can get heavy, and sometimes they may not be suitable for children, so consider this your disclaimer. But if you care about truth, justice, and accountability, then you're in the right